Hey everyone, hope you guys are doing great. So, my name is Waheed. I'm a functional consultant and I work with ERPs and CRM. I'm also the founder of Consultant Manage. So, we are going through a series of Zoho Creator application development, and this is one of the uh, third video regarding how we will be continuing with Zoho Creator. And one of the key things that we will be covering in this video is how to create the forms. In the previous video, we have discussed about the uh, the process flow of the creator, and in this video, we will be discussing about specifically about how to implement that process flow into the application. So today's video would be about creating forms as per our requirement, and what are the key things that we should be aware of, what are the data types and why they are important. So these are the key things that we will be going through. So keep an eye on them, and let's don't waste any more time. So here we are. So we are currently on the Zoho Creator. So this was the process flow diagram that we discussed earlier. So we have the user, we have the items, carrier, and order types, and this is the main order form. So let's go to our application. We already have an order form, and what we need is basically item form, carrier form, order type form, and user form. Okay. So we are here. We will create a new form, and we will name it as we will just say blank for now, and we will say users, and the other form is item, carrier, and order type, right? It's creating. Done. We will create another form, blank, item, items, carrier, another form, carriers, and order type. Okay, so here we go. So we have all these forms now: orders, user, item, carrier, and order type. So let me give a brief of why we have created these forms and why they are important. So this is our main form, and this is our user form. User form is basically to give access or register new users from the front end. So by default, Zoho has the capability of creating users at the back end. So you can create users or customer portal at the back end. But because it's a low code platform and it gives you flexibility of customization, so there is a possibility and there is an uh, dilute script available that can allow you to create users or register users from the front end. So technically you will register user from a front end interface just like your normal application, and at the back end they will get registered in the application. So this is the user form. That's the reason of the user form. Then we have the order form, which is basically the main order form that will have all the information. And then we have sub order forms, item, carrier, and order types, which are basically the items or carriers or order type values that can change. We can have more items moving forward, so we can't really make them as a drop down list. And same goes for the carriers. So we can't make carriers as a drop down list and order types as well. So the best practice is if there is something that could change or that has more than 3-4 values and that could potentially change, that could be dimension for a unit case or package type or packaging type or profile type, like anything that is variable and that could change with the passage of time. The naming convention could change or the value itself could change. So the best and the easiest and straightforward way of dealing with it is that you create a separate small form and do a lookup relation. So let's do a lookup relation on the order form. So we are on the order form at the moment. Okay, so we will keep open flow builder, and what we're gonna do is we will scroll down and we will go through the lookup. On the lookup, we will have either it's a multi-select or single select. We will say items, and then we will basically give a specific section here, right? So we won't add items here. We would add the order type because that is something is important. For now, we will just say ID because we don't have an order type value. So later on, we will change this ID to a specific order type value that we will place here because we just created order type. So by default, there are only four fields available. That is by the system, right? So right now we will just say ID, and we will it's a single type because we are not giving multi select type. So we will just say drop down. Okay, done. Okay, and we will have order type. And if you see here, this is the API name for this, right? So this is important. The field link name, order type, and later on in the end of this video series, when we will be dealing with APIs, we will be dealing with these names as well. So this naming convention is very important, right? And specifically when you are dealing with complex applications. So then the other thing that we want to highlight here is the carrier, because carrier is again like something. Okay, now what we're gonna do is basically we will create a sub order form, right? So sub form, and I will tell you the items, right? I will just say a blank form for now because we don't want to get all the items into the system. So we will put a lookup. We just create lookup, and we will give items an ID for now. Okay, later on we will come back and put the more items. So in this subform we will name it as items, order items, because it will basically hold all the values, or all the items that are included in that order, right? Order items, carrier, order type, email, and name. That's it. So we are basically done in terms of lookup. Now, one important thing I want to highlight here is when I will just create a lookup for you guys to just give you an idea. When I created a lookup, there is an application here. What is this? I will shortly explain you, because it's a low code platform, and because it's a combination of apps that we can build and we can do different functions for particular app. So Zoho created by default, and it's an out of the box solution. It allow you to connect to different apps. So let's say if I had another app, it could have easily been connected to that app, and I can fetch the information from like another form, another app, another form, and link it to a lookup to this particular application, which basically expands the functionality of the application quite a lot, basically. Yeah. So just few things I want to add here. So we have order number, order status, order description. So we have to create these fields. Name isn't included. Yes. Okay, so we will remove the email as well, because this is again something not included. So we will say order number. That would be a single line field. Order number. Okay, then we will have the order status, which will be a drop down, and this field would be the key here. I will explain you why it would be key here, because it will be initiated processing picked back shipped. Okay, so this initiated processing, picked, packed, and shipped, these would be different stages that we will be passing this order through, right? So now once we have it, then the other thing is order description, which would be a multi-line field. Order description, order type, we have it, order carrier and order item. So we have rest of the fields available as a lookup. So we will put order description, order status, and order number. Okay, we are not adding a customer. If we had to add a customer from the system, we should be adding a separate subform and linking through a lookup relation, because the ideal, like that would be the most ideal case scenario and the best approach towards solving this problem. Now we have these details, so this part is completed. The only thing we will be doing is, when once we are done with order type, carrier, and items, we'll just change this id to a specific value, so whenever someone filling up this information, they can easily do it. So we will go to the items, we will put a single line field as item name, we will just give it a number, auto number. So we do have an auto number, we can start it from 1002. So just for the item id, and this is the id that we are generating, right? And we will give a description to the item. Okay, item description, and then what we're gonna do is basically we will put an item image, and we will just save it. And once we are done with this, we will go to the carriers. We'll go to the carriers. We'll say carrier name, okay, and then we will say carrier type, and we will put over vehicle, vehicle. Water, sea vehicle. This would be carrier type, carrier name, and once we are done with this, we will just give carrier an id. Okay, so we are done here. So that's it. And if we want to upload, let's say, a carrier logo, so we will just put an image here and say carrier logo. So this is done. Carrier is done. Now it's the point is order type. Okay, so the first thing is, we'll just, for the order type, we will just be keeping one single value. Basically that would be order type, that's it. Okay, now we will just done, right? So this is done. Now if we go back to the order form, go here. So we will, what we're gonna do is, first of all, we will go to the order type, we'll change the name here. So we will choose the order type, right? Then we will choose the carrier as carrier name, the fields that we define. Now, why we are changing this from ID to this? Because ID is a string value. That would be approximately like 14, 15 character or more than that. Okay, I'm not sure about the exact numbers, but it's a long string of numbers, right? Which is not very user friendly. So you need something like you remember. So when I like let's say TFC or Lookup or uh, ARMX or any other carrier that we normally are aware of. If you tell me the name, I can remember it. But if you tell me an ID for that carrier, obviously I'm not a person who can remember 20 characters for a name. So the best way of doing this is to represent them by name. Similarly, we will do for item name. So we have an ID, we will just name it as item name, right? And once we are done with it, that's all good. So yeah, and one more thing we're gonna do is basically we will just put single line field item ID, right? This will we will be auto populating this just to give you a representation or an idea of how this is done. Okay, so this is done. So now we are done with order forms, we are done with items, carrier, and order types. The things that are left is the user. So what are the key things that we need to register a user? The most important thing is the email. We need email of the user to register him, right? So we will say we will have a name field, we moved the email field, and now we will be moving a drop down to give a profile to the user, right? User profile, right? Now in the user profile we will say we will just get but yeah, but it would be the right thing to do. So we will just go here. And this is very important because these naming conventions should be absolutely right. Otherwise, it won't allow you to create users in the systems or register user in the system with the right profile. So I will go to the users, and then I will go to the permissions. Okay, users and permissions. So, so we have read and write. Okay, for now. Uh, So I can change it to like admin, super admin, or any other detail. But I will read and write for now. Just keep it as it is. Okay. So I will go to this section. I just copied that name. I will just read, and I will copy this, and I will say write. So I will just be here, right, and I will done. So we have name, email, user profile. That's it. And is there any other information that we were expecting? Email, name, phone number, profile, access type. So like it's up to us if we want to put access type. Uh, we are building a very basic application at the moment. So we will just say access type, and I will show you if we had the time. Or we will say selective access. Yeah. Full access, selective access, right? And then we will say done. One more thing I would like to highlight here: when we do selective access, what we're gonna have to do is we have to add a field here, which is a lookup to hide or to give access to the orders that are required, right? So not all the orders, to particular orders only. So we will just say a lookup, right? What what the problem with this would be that it will become a complex application, like a bit of complex. But let's do it. Let's do it. It's fine. So we will say the order form, and we will say order number, and we will say done. If this would work basically in case we only want to give a particular access to the individual. Okay. So based on that, we will give him access to the particular orders only, right? So we'll say done. So once we are done here, and then this is done. So now we have the users, we have the orders, we have the items, we have the carriers, and we have the order types, right? So our this part is done. We have registered the form, and we have different order like information saved. Now we have the approved, pick, pack, ship, and external database with system ID, right? So now what we're gonna do is basically we will be playing around with the order form, and in the order form we will mainly be doing reports. So we will be creating approval reports, pick reports, pack reports, and yeah, we will be doing pick, pack, these type of reports. So just to give an idea, so just let me check one thing. Approved, status update, share, ship, job, okay, pick job, pack job, and ship job. So we will quickly create a report that says pick job, pack job, and order form, pick orders. Then we will create another report that says pack orders, report, list, order form, pack orders. Right. And then we will create another report that says ship order. Oh, sorry, it's report and it's ship order. And one more thing I want to add here is that I'm naming as ship orders, uh, pack orders. It's automatically generated, right? But I would highly recommend that you name them in a way that the consistency remains the way it is. Okay, so we have pack orders, pick orders, and ship orders. So it should be shipped orders, not ship order. So these are like basic things, but these are very very important because when we are dealing with clients or when we are dealing with end users, so these naming convention really should be careful. We should be used carefully because it's a low code platform. So most of the people just want to build something quickly and get it done and move it out to the users. But it's very important that you keep a good eye on these things. Okay, so this is done. Now we will go to the pick orders, and we will put a filter just to make sure that it will only show the order status equals processing, because we would only be showing that orders that are in processing, because we need to move them to from processing to pick stage, right? Or picked basically. So that is one thing. Then we have packed orders. So we will go here and we will say only show order status equals picked. And now we will say ship orders. So we will again go here, only order status equals shipped, packed, right? So once we are done here, so we have picked order, packed orders, and ship orders. So these are different stages that are based on the order form. So later on we'll be playing around with the other things. So what we have done here is ship job, pack job, pick job. We are done with that. Then we have approvals that we will do in the next video. Yeah. Okay. So we are done here with the form creation for all the forms that are required for the application to run, and we have created the base level things that are required for the application to move on, like reports, forms, and stuff. So that was the agenda for the meeting for this particular video as well. So in the next video, we will be covering about the next topic, which is basically workflows. Yeah. So we will be setting up the workflows, custom buttons, filters in terms of what we can see and what we can't see. And we will also be working on the scripts as well. I believe so. Yes, we will be working on the scripts as well, which will basically be like coding, deluge coding scripts that we will be writing to move the things around. So that's it for today, for this video. I hope if you haven't subscribed yet, you will subscribe to our channel right now all about Zoho and this particular series of Zoho Creator. I hope you are finding it useful, helpful in creating a low-code application for your particular business or modifying an existing one. So thank you very much for viewing, and stay tuned for the next videos. We will be catching up soon. Thank you.